I have no idea what I'm doing. This is going to be interesting.
Back in the shop. Today is Tuesday. We are going to start working on getting this container installed. Got the whole frame. This is just primer, basically black primer that I was spraying the other day. As you can see, it made on real nice and clean. Yeah, and then back here, I just taped off the motion parachute out because that was all lost out already. And it's opaque. So this would be getting sealed in piece with 2K chassis black and high gloss, but we're gonna finish doing all the work on the frame first. So next thing up is these control arm mounts on the rear. This is front half's getting cut off, so we actually utilize these with the 417 Motorsports kit to index or align their K member, which I'll show you here. So these mounts right here slide on outside edges of the existing rear control elements. So these mounts here, visual, these can actually slide on the outside of that mount and that. But you have these tabs here, and this is too big of a profile for their mounts. So on their instructions, which are pretty clear, we show you a detail here of basically what the should look like. So what I did is I had this issue 3-corner washer, and I came over here, and I basically just centered that washer on there, like that, and I traced it, which gave me this one right here. I don't have 2x2 steel here, but I do have this massive chunk of 1/4 inch angle iron. So what we're going to do is this will come over here, just like that. And what I'm going to do is I'll take the flat base and I'll grind a little primer on this section of the frame, that section of the frame, and clean up the edges of this old piece of scrap steel I had. And then you will burn it in here. We'll put a little tack on the side here, and then underneath we'll hit a little bit of oils. And now apply that all together. All right, so you're ready to laugh. I pick up Welder probably twice a night, and I'll tack down a couple of things. So what I'm going to attempt to do is I'll tack both sides in a couple spots, and then I'll try to run a little bead down both sides. We're running the Vulcan 220 Omni Pro, and I have it set up for 1/4 inch, big steel, about 3/5 wire. So I don't know what settings to use, so I'm just using whatever's there. So we'll see if it actually does what it's supposed to, because I know I'm not doing what I'm supposed to. So See how it goes. Enjoy the show. I know this much. I gotta put it around, then I cleaned up the metal, so that's a plus too. Okay. That should look pretty good on both sides. And it should give us what we need. Not all good. It's ugliest buggers of a weld you ever want to see. Certainly not going to be proud of when it's on. So I'm going to hit it with a hammer. And if it doesn't fall off, I'm going to count that as a win. That's a win. Got a package here. Special delivery from a good friend of mine who made me some goodies. Hopefully he didn't put anything inappropriate in the box. You'll see this high quality taping job he did. Way to go, Chris. All right. Let's see what we got in here. Oh, that's cool. That's awesome, man. 3D printing at its finest. Go, Chris. Getting fancy with layers. Oh, awesome. Check these things out. I'll show you what these are for. So, I mentioned these in a previous video. These go on your bottle jacks. So you got that index, and then this should click right on there. And now you can tighten and loosen these. Awesome. Badass. So I'm going to put one of those on my press. And he made me 3 of them. I'm going to put another one on the engine hoist. And then I keep another 20-ton bottle jack in the shop for bottle jack stuff. All right. Thanks, guys. Got it. Now, I have to come in here and I want to cut all this off nice and clean, back flush with the actual frame rail on both sides. So all this will have to come off and get ground down real nice. It'll be pretty. So basically, like I did here, we're just going to keep cutting all this extra stuff off of here. I'll show you what it looks like when we're done. Smile big, everybody. All right, next day. It's now Friday. I didn't record anything yesterday, but basically what we did is we came in here, and these I had cut roughly a couple inches longer than they needed to be. So we got these all cut back and fit like they're supposed to now. 2 3/4 from the center of this hole to this face. We got that set up on both sides. Everything's finished. I took a flat disc, knocked this all down nice and smooth, cleaned it up, deburred all the edges. I have something going on here with the front suspension, so we're going to be modifying these in the next video probably. So those are kind of just staying as is right now,
we're going to focus on getting this K-member in. I came over here on the bar ends, took a Scotch-Brite, cleaned this all up, cleaned these plates all up also. So you can see I hit them with the wheel, got everything cleaned up with some paint prep and let it dry adequately so we're not off-gassing any fumes. And as you can see, 417 Motorsports absolutely killed it. Basically, if you do your job and cut and prep everything properly, this thing goes right in. I mean, you can't get better fitment than that on this. So yeah, we're gonna get this thing mocked up into place so we can tack it on. I found a bolt. These are actually not 1/2 inch. My bad. That's more better. All right, so we got that side in. So that locks the cross member in place. As you can see, the tabs on the 417 rack go on the outside edge of the factory mounts. And then you gotta, showed previously, just make sure you cut this out, the factory mount out. You gotta take the bottom edge of it off and round it up. Now we'll go throw the other side on and do the same thing basically. Get my mallet. Really helps if you don't grab the wrong bolt the second time. All right, just about got that one in place. I just gotta, ow, oh, right in the side. All right, so that's sitting in there right now. I'm gonna get that other bolt installed the rest of the way, and then I'll show you how to set these frame plates up. We gotta level the truck up, so be right back. All right, we got everything set up. I'll show you what I did here. So when you're setting up a front end like this, the most important thing is you got to make sure you have your chassis all nice and level. You got to have your front end matching the chassis. So I set up my line laser, which is why it's a little darker in here. I got the lights turned off. And I made a line right there, which is center of the front cross member. And then back here, I measured the center of this cross member, frame rail to frame rail, and put a mark on there. And then I lined that laser up from there to the front rail. And I also put a center line. It's hard to see, but right there is a center line in between here. So we got 3 points of reference now that tell us, you know, the K-member in the front is now lined up with the chassis. So like this bar right here that goes back into the frame rail is in line with the frame rail. This way everything lines up. The next thing to do is set level. And I used the regular level across the frame rails, because if you look carefully, like these factory frame rails have a lot of like ups and downs and imperfections in them. And dimples. There's no perfect place. So I checked in multiple areas here, there, right at the front bed mounts, and then on top of the chassis up in the back also, and made sure it's level left to right. And all I did was adjust the screw jacks. If you're gonna do it on the lift, make sure you lower it onto the locks before you start adjusting it so that your lift doesn't settle. So, and then after I got it leveled driver to passenger all the way from the front K-member to the back, I got my laser digital angle finder here, not laser, and we were at 0.4. So I checked it in a couple different spots here, and we were 0.2 to 0.5, but this seems to be the most flat, and it is also 0.4 on that side. So we're really splitting hairs here. But 0.4 degrees is very good, and we are at 0.4 degrees on this K-member too, which means the front K-member is perfectly in parallel with what the bed is getting bolted down to, and the cab rather, not the bed. And according to 417's instructions, they want you to set level and base everything off of where the cab mounts. So somewhere in between the cab mounts. So we got that all scoped out. Everything's in line. Our laser goes right down the chassis. All lines up good. And we are also perfectly level left to right, both on the digital finder and 4-foot level. So now, as you can see, without any modification, their plate fits perfect. So now we can tack this plate onto the frame and then tack this tube onto there. We have our bolts through the factory mount on both sides. So this is locked into place. This indexes it proper distance front to back. And then we can come over here and we can tack this tab on here, this side, and then do the same thing on the driver's side of the truck. And that will basically have our K-member installed, which is a huge milestone. That's awesome, because once that's in and finalized, we can start working on the front suspension. So I'm going to set you guys down. I'm probably going to run up actually and grab some dinner. Wife's cooking. I love that. She's great. So I want to go get some hot food. I think we're having some steak tonight, which is perfect. And then I'll come back down a little later and tack this thing in, and I'll bring you guys along for the ride, because like I said, I can't weld. So I really want to try TIG welding this, and I've literally never picked up a TIG welder. I just bought that one. So I'm going to give it a try, but I think just for getting it done right now, I'm just going to grab the MIG welder and throw some corner tacks and everything so it doesn't move. All right, I'll catch you in a bit. That looks pretty good. See, we just got some tacks around there. And then same thing over here. Ooh, oh, man, I'm throwing you guys all over. Can't see with the welding helmet on. Just got some tacks on that bracket. So we'll come back later. We'll burn all that in. We're gonna do the same thing to the other side. I'll show you when it's all said and done. All right, Saturday now, we're back out in the shop. So as I showed you last night, K-members all in. This morning I popped the steering rack out, make some more room because we got to weld all of this plate, that plate, and those lower mounts in. And like I said, I have never TIG welded, ever. I've never even picked up the torch yet. So we're gonna figure that out together. So I just grabbed a piece of scrap plate steel I have here as a work surface. We're gonna be using the Yes Welder TIG 200P AC/DC welder. And I got some scrap steel over there. We're gonna cut a couple pieces. That's roughly the same thickness as what we're welding on the frame here. And I'm gonna figure this out, hopefully. This should be interesting. Okay, first time ever holding the TIG gun. Horrible. So I got a lot of practice to do. But we're gonna weld that thing. We are gonna get it. All right, I'm gonna try a little bit different one here. I feel like this will more closely resemble what I have to do on the frame too. So let's give this a shot. I think one of the things I'm doing is I'm not moving fast enough, and I'm trying to put too much filler rod in, because it started off really good here, and then I kind of veered off, and I noticed I tilted the gun a little bit, and I started burning down this lower edge of the metal. But it started off great. So I just need to take my time, and I'm gonna do a few more practice runs here. Got good penetration. To me, that's the most important thing right now while I'm learning. I just don't want to underweld something and it not stick properly, because that could kind of be catastrophic. If I have to grind a little bit in the beginning, you know, to make things look nice, so be it, as long as it's permanently stuck. All right, I'm gonna do a couple more practice runs off camera. I'll bring you guys back in a minute. Got my acetone here. I already sanded everything down, so we're just gonna clean this metal off here where we're gonna be welding. Just to get it on last night, I used a MIG welder, as you guys saw, just tacked it on. So hopefully that doesn't mess me up even worse, but I wanna try doing it with the TIG welder. So everything's cleaned up. Got our ground clamp right over here. I played with the amperage and the gas settings a little bit. Right now we're running 115 amps and I think 25, 30 on the gas. So, all right. Let's hope I don't mess this up too bad. Ah, I messed it up already. I stuck the tungsten right to the metal. Okay. I'm gonna go grind the tip and I'll bring you guys right back. Okay, let's try this again. Well, it ain't pretty, but it's on there, I think. All right. Not horrible. Certainly not pretty. But it is definitely stuck on there. Show you guys that one. That's the two tops. We'll burn this thing in the rest of the way. Almost forgot, on a side note, Another props to 417 Motorsports. Also want to mention, super helpful through email and phone communication. Great people to deal with. They sent me a little care package. Let's see what's in here. They didn't have to do this. It's really appreciated. I love this. The small business mentality. You guys know me. Oh, sweet. We got some shirts. Let's see here. Trust me, it will fit. That's awesome. They got their logo on the front. Very cool. Let's see what this other one is. This one's yellow. I don't know if it's the same shirt or not. Nope. Got a big turbo on it. 417 Motorsports. Pretty cool. If you guys are watching this over at 417, greatly appreciated. Definitely be working with you on future projects. Thanks again. Well, I think that's going to pretty much wrap it up for this episode. I'll tell you this. I'm a hell of a grinder. I got a lot of work to do on the welding side of things. But all in all, can't be afraid to try new stuff. I never picked up a TIG welder before in my entire life. Literally, today was the first day. So we gave it a shot, and we're gonna keep trying. Lots of practice. A couple of my friends are extremely talented welders, and they gave me some pointers. And actually, when they got some time, they're gonna swing by and kind of give me the rundown on how to do this stuff properly. But all in all, let me show you guys. I got great penetration. You can see my heat lines about a 1/2 inch down and in on both sides. I just ground the edges smooth. All in all, very happy. Same thing over here. I am not going to weld those in. I need to practice too much, and I don't want to risk burning through the plate or the tube. So I'm going to wait for one of my buddies to come over. I know Maddie said he's going to swing by and give me a hand, so maybe you'll meet him. But just want to go over everything. This is the 417 Motorsports tubular front end. So this comes with, well, you can get it with, I ordered it with the core support built into it. It's got the fender brackets that'll bolt down, the body mounts. It comes pre-set up for the steering rack, which you saw in it previously. Those are our control arm mounts, the lower control arm mounts. And they basically, the plates fit absolutely perfect as long as you cut the frame properly, which is 2 3/4 from this bolt hole forwards is where you cut this, and make sure you cut it all nice and plain. Prep is the biggest thing here, guys. You got to make sure the frame is level left to right, front to back. I got my most accurate measurements front to back, putting my angle finder on here, my digital angle reader. So I was within, I think it was 0.2 to 0.3 degrees on the entire frame, left to right, front to back. And then whatever you have your frame set at, this has to get set the same thing, so that when you bolt everything up and in here, this is in plane with the main section of your frame. So this is just the temporary cross piece that I had to weld in. So I'll cut these welds here. Oh, by the way, I figured out what was wrong with my welder. Yeah, I never turned the gas flow up. It was down at like 5. It needs to be at like 25. So yeah, that was my bad. Again, I probably TIG welded like 3 things in my entire life, and they were just like, tack it in. It didn't matter if it was pretty. So I've never welded before. We'll just call it that. This is my first shot at it. So gave it my best. All in all, very happy. This kit is beautiful. I'll show you a couple other pieces. They have some options when you order this kit. I'm sure you saw it in previous clips, but over here is the steering rack that comes with it, which weighs nothing. You have a steel mid plate that will go in, and this drops right on the frame. And this is a 1/4 inch thick aluminum front plate. Everything CNC cut, beautiful piece. And this piece basically rests on the front tube work on their 417 tubular front end. So comes with good instructions. I got the extra bump steer kit and the core support bushings, which are here. These are, I said these were for the belly pan. These are actually the front bumper brackets. So I misspoke there. I already put the belly pan up in the loft for storing it for now, because we won't need that till we set the motor in. And then obviously when you go to set your motor, you can move it around front to back and get it lined up right where you want it to be. There's still a bunch of welding that needs to happen. When the cage goes in, there's going to be tubes welded to the sides. Right now this is just black primer. This is Eastwood chassis primer. We're not painting it just yet. I was going to paint it, but I'll give you a little sneak peek of what I'm going to be working on next, and that is the Nicky Bobby long travel kit. So these are our coilover springs. We have AFCO double adjustable coilovers going in this thing, and this is Nicky Bobby's long travel bracket. And I'll show you how this goes on, which is why I'm not painting things yet, and I haven't finished grinding all of that. These, my temporary brace is in the way, but basically this gets put right onto there, and we have to cut this whole section of the bucket out here and then box this in with new steel so that the coilover comes down. The long travel coilover runs right here. So all of this has to get cut out and the frame has to get boxed in, and then this basically will bolt right down on there. Actually, do I have this on the right side? This might have to go on the other side. I'm not sure which is which yet. I think this one goes over here. Yeah, no, I had it right the first time. But anyways, coilover mounts there. This goes on to here. Those bolt holes there line up with the two existing upper control arm holes. And then, like I said, this you cut basically straight down this edge, and then you cut this whole section of frame right out. So that's what we're going to be working on. Ooh, almost dropped you guys. That's what we're going to be working on next. I'm really excited to get that going. So we got the Nicky Bobby front end going in here, long travel setup. So we got more cutting on the frame, and after the front goes in, we're going to start working on this, getting the rear end in. So I got to assemble this 9-inch. This from Funkhauser Race Cars, I previously mentioned. All his bracketry, Matt did a beautiful job with all of this. Anti-roll bar, cross frame support. I mean, where is it? This thing is awesome. Here, let me show you this. I mean, the attention to detail on this also is just beautiful. That bolts right in there. He already ran brake lines with AN fittings for me. We've got AN lines already set up for it from Frigola. 35 spline axle shafts from Quick Performance. So we're gonna get that all assembled and put together after we finish the front end, so we can make this thing a roller soon, hopefully. And then after that, I'm gonna prime the rest of this, finish grinding. We'll finish all the welding. We'll get a full coat of paint on this frame, even though, like I said, we still gotta have some grinding to do once the roll cage gets put in this thing, but that'll just be spots. I'd rather have the whole thing coated and protected. So that'll end it for tonight. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, please share with your friends. Leave a comment. It's gonna help the channel grow. If you're enjoying this, share it with some friends. Share it on some community pages. It'll help me out tremendously. Yeah, that's it. Remember guys, nothing stays stock. I'm out.